yet.
All right, welcome to VIP's Only Podcast. We thank you guys again for being on here. We have a special guest this afternoon.
Exciting.
We have a great client that's been with us, and she was able to share her story, and we're glad that she is here today. Before we get everything started, let me introduce myself. My name is Tablang. To my right is Mr. Fred Villagonzalo.
Hey.
To my other right is Mr. James Lopez.
Hello, welcome.
And if it's okay, who wants to introduce our guest?
I think you should.
I think I should, right?
You know her
so
longer.
we have an amazing client. You know, she's been with us for a while, and we thank her so much for her business. We have a guest today. Her name is Joanne Yu. Can you just say a little bit about yourself?
My name is Joanne, and I live in Orange County. Probably just, trying to live my life here.
Yeah.
I think I met her couple years ago when we had like a VIP convention. Mini like meeting at the time.
Yeah.
And I know Ace mentioned before that we have a client at the time that we want everybody to hear that story.
Yeah.
And when I heard that story, at the time I didn't know something's going on. Because at the time when we met you at that convention, you're healthy, you're active.
Yeah.
I even thought what kind of story might she tell at the time? And then, Ace introduced you at the time. You had the testimonials, and I saw everyone cry after.
Yeah. In fact, we have these like presentations that we do, and she was one of our first clients that got a claim. And we asked her, many times, can you come over? Can you do a testimonial for us? Because people really need to know what the living benefits can do for them. And, every time she does it, it's really an emotional story because people are like, wow, it's actually real. Mm-hmm. This is something that you can actually get. So we're excited to have her here. She's going to share a little bit about her story on how it happened, how this whole thing happened. What was the benefits of the product itself, and how it changed her life?
Sure.
Right.
Because we want to share to our listener or viewers, in a perspective of as a client, because it kind of for us we don't wish something's gonna bad happen to our clients. That's the worst call we always get if somebody wants to file a claim. Mm-hmm. But sharing that story makes what we do much worth it because we know we're doing the right thing.
That's right.
So we can start probably before the first time you heard about our industry or our products
or how you got introduced to the product. I mean, that story's it's really good from the beginning. Because a lot of people in general just knows one product, and you were in that same boat and
yes.
got introduced to something that definitely changed your mind or changed your life, actually.
I'm actually grateful to that friend of mine that introduced it.
Yeah.
He told me about it. He mentioned living benefits. It's that key word, living benefits. So I said, what is that all about?
Exactly.
So he told me, the benefits of it, the advantages of it, but didn't pay attention to it. So it was put on the side. But then one day it hit me. I said, I'll go ahead and replace it. It's a life insurance with living benefits.
Yeah.
So I replaced the traditional one I had and got this one.
Yeah.
And it didn't hurt me because the monthly premium that I've been paying will be the same.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, so that
good.
kind of like gave you that push, like what am I gonna lose if I replace
Exactly,
it? Okay.
exactly. I mean, there's nothing to it. The same amount they'll be paying. So I said, why not? Let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the time, you were still working at the time. You have full benefits.
Yes, I was working. Actually, I'm still working full time.
And then you have that full benefit with the company. Also life insurance as well.
Yeah, just the basic.
Okay.
The basic life insurance that the company offers.
So when
So
you
it's-
had that living benefits, when your friend explained it to you, did it click at that time that you understand what it does, or?
No, honestly, I was just doing it more as a favor to my friend.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But when I thought about it too, it's also a no-brainer for me since I won't be paying more than what I have
That's right.
currently, and then whatever that living benefits it's not it's not meaningful to me at that time.
Yeah.
So I said, why not? It's not the traditional life insurance.
So just as a background, when you were comparing both, you knew that the living benefits, like even though they were both the same amount, it just had more stuff. Is that?
It's more like there's more advantage to it.
Okay, there we go.
The advantage. I mean, I didn't pay too much details to what they were.
Yeah, well, the details are for it. Yeah,
but it's more of if you compare apples to apples, and if you have more to it on this other apple,
like why wouldn't you get it?
why not?
Exactly.
Especially if there's no extra money that I have to put.
Okay,
That's true.
So I said, let's go ahead and do it. I mean, because it went seamless. It's it wasn't that hard. So
Then do you remember what year was that one?
that was 2017.
17.
Oh, 2007.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
a while back.
Yeah,
And then
4 years.
all right. So
Yeah,
do you
4
had the policy? Do you still have the policy today?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you had.
Well, actually, I have a couple.
Got it.
I
So-
actually had three.
3.
Wow.
Three, and
wow.
then I
So
had-
2017, you had the
Smart.
policy, you had that living benefits policy, and like you said, it doesn't change anything. It's because it's the same price, so it's like nothing changed. It's the same. You wake up the same thing every morning, like nothing changed.
yeah,
And then
and it's being deducted monthly, from my checking account.
So it doesn't even
something-
change your
yeah.
life. It just it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same.
yeah. So and then when was the time that the real story happened?
5 months later,
On the same year, 2017.
2017, 5 months later, I got diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh.
So
Like 5 months from the time that you
from the time I had the
The
policy when I replaced it.
So yeah, if you don't mind sharing that story, because I know something's really
Yeah.
deep and big, for someone, especially it's cancer. Do you remember still that day when you got diagnosed?
Oh yes, definitely. Actually, it was just I found out about it from just I had my yearly mammogram,
Okay.
and they asked me to come back, do it again, do an ultrasound. From the ultrasound, they told me to do a biopsy. So from the result from the biopsy is when I found out that I have breast cancer.
Oh, okay.
So I bet that was a big surprise for you. Do you have any medical history or in the family?
No. It was really a big impact when I heard the news.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I didn't expect that it would happen to me.
Exactly.
So I was also having doubts if they made a mistake, or maybe it's not me, maybe it's the wrong patient. So but the good and bad thing about the biopsy was they ended up taking from my lymph nodes,
Oh.
not from the mass on my breast.
So they kind of made an honest mistake.
Oh.
Yeah, they were supposed to test something, but it was a different.
Yes, which made the surgeon's life easier because he doesn't have to test it anymore when he did the surgery, because that's one of the procedures that when they do the surgery, they also test your lymph nodes to see if it's affected. But that that skipped a step for him.
And at the time, your lifestyle was you're healthy, active.
Active. Any history of cancer in the family?
With my maternal aunts, but that was when they were already older in the 70s. One of them had breast cancer, one of them had stomach cancer.
Okay.
But I also did the genetic testing. And it didn't show, it didn't come
from... Any risk,
No, it didn't come from my genes. I didn't get it because
really?
See,
and that's good to know because, people think like, I'm not going to get cancer because maybe my family doesn't have cancer.
Exactly.
Right? But then you look at, it can just happen.
It can just happen, and it's more like probably my lifestyle.
Yeah,
because I love sweets.
Speaking of sweets,
she brought us sweets.
Some treat.
Hey,
thank you, by the way. Thank you.
So going back to that moment that they got diagnosed, and you were still in the denial stage at that time. When was the time like kind of settled in, like, oh, this is for real? Like,
well, because I have to take some actions since it spread to my lymph nodes, because the mass was just small, so the stage supposedly was just stage 2, but since it affected my lymph nodes, it went up to 3A. So I have to take some action right away, do the surgery and then do the next treatments.
Okay.
So, it's something that I can't let it linger, especially I know that if it's spread to your lymph nodes, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign.
So what was running to your mind at that time that when that happened, that the next step is you're gonna do these procedures, the treatments? Did it touch your mind that what's gonna happen financially with my job? Or
honestly, at that time I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking more of what do I do? So I was like consoling myself, also talking to my friend. And that's when my friend mentioned that I have this living benefits. So that's when he reminded me that you have not just the traditional life insurance that we did 5 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So he reminded me about that. So he told me about it. Excuse me. And then we probably submitted the paperwork after my surgery. I had to do my surgery first.
Yeah.
So
do you mind sharing usually how much it costs
for
that surgery and the treatments?
Like the process that you went through. I know there's like different processes. I know there's different costs, and some people in their head they think, I have health insurance, and health insurance is enough. It'll pay everything. But I just kind of want to know the procedure and how that affected you and your insurance.
Well, because the medical insurance, you have to meet your deductible before it becomes 100%.
And you have a good health insurance at the time too, right?
Well, I actually have PPO.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
So the cost of the surgery itself, I don't remember the rough amount, but it's at least five figures, high figures.
Yeah.
So
just for that surgery,
not including the hospitalization, not including the doctor.
Oh, wow.
The doctor fees, and that was towards the end of the year. So that was December. I chose to do a double mastectomy also.
Okay.
So that took longer for me to stay in the hospital. And then following year is when I have to do chemo and radiation.
Okay. And then so that was 5 months after you got the policy. So you probably have to stop working for a long time at the time.
Well, I had to plan it since they gave me the treatment. I mean, because I also took a second opinion from another
doctor.
From another, and they gave the same treatment, and I was going to be out for a good 8-9 months.
Wow.
So at that time you stopped working. Of course, you're gonna still get paid through work, but that's not usually.
Well,
long,
no, because if you're out medically for that long, short-term disability kicks in.
Okay.
Unfortunately, short-term only pays 66% of your paycheck.
Yeah.
So, you still have all your bills coming in aside from the medical bills. You have your own mortgage, credit cards,
So it's piling up.
Yeah, so all those are, you still have to pay even though you're sick.
Yeah.
So December you had the surgery, and then after that you filed the claim for the living benefit.
Yeah, we submitted the paperwork.
So that was January.
Towards the end of December.
Okay, and then
Oh, okay.
how long did it took before you got an answer?
Probably, for the answer, probably less than a week.
Oh, okay.
Well, it took a little longer because they had what they call contestability. Cause
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's just 5 months,
Yeah.
so they
it's a new
wanted to
policy.
make sure that the policy is not.
So you might want to explain
Fine.
that one
Yeah.
for those that doesn't know what contestability means. Is.
Yeah. So for incontestability, for everyone like just figuring out like, hey, is living benefits for me? Is life insurance for me? Well, before we do any applications, we do like a health questionnaire, health check, making sure that whatever you put on there is correct, right? So if anything happens within those 2 years, early in the 2 years, the company has the right to see, what happened. They can investigate what happened. In this case, because it hasn't been 2 years, they were able, they were checking to make sure everything was right. But in this case, everything was clear. There was you answered everything right. There was
Not just that, because they also requested records from the doctor.
Yeah,
from
you
the
got it.
doctor itself. Yeah,
you got it. So it was good. Like you got it pretty fast.
the
Claim?
The claim. Yeah, less than a month.
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, they gave me the option since I have the option of getting partial of it, or if I want to get the whole amount.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you choose the latter?
Well, because I have, like I said, I had 3. I actually canceled one of them, so one of them is a term, and the other one was a permanent. So I chose the term, and got the whole amount for it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, that's smart.
So after the surgery, of course, it doesn't. The bills doesn't end there. The treatment doesn't end there. It has to be like.
I think that's when it started. That's when it started hitting me on the expenses. Because come January, that's when I start my chemo treatment. But before they can do that, they have to put a port on my body. It's like
It's like an access port, so that's where they can administer it.
the chemo. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and
okay.
that was first week of January. So when I did that, when I was scheduled to do that, I was already surprised when the admitting clerk was asking for some payments from me.
Oh man.
And you haven't even started.
I haven't even started.
Oh, okay.
Because my surgery for that one cost me 10 grand.
Yeah.
Wow.
And since it's the first part of the year, deductibles hasn't kicked in, I have to put my 20% share
Wow.
Out of pocket.
out of pocket.
Wow.
So that hit me, and I said, "Oh my gosh, that's 2 grand I have to put up right away before they can do the surgery." So I was going to back out, but then I realized, wait a minute, I have the living benefits that should take care of this. So
That's when you thought.
willingly gave
Yeah,
my
let me go.
card and made the payment so
But
they can do the
that's
surgery.
a good point too, because if let's say I was in that situation, and I'm already trying to ends meet at the time, because I just had a surgery and I just paid it, and now I have to pay this out of pocket. What if I don't have living benefits at the time?
You're just stressing. Exactly. You said it. You would just probably just back out.
Back up.
Yeah.
Well, because they need that before they can continue the surgery. Continue and be admitted.
Yeah,
to.
and then it's not like it's not like there's a choice for you to say no if money wasn't a problem, because you really had to go to the treatment.
Yep. Yeah.
But the thing is, now the variable is that you have to consider money first. If I can really afford the treatment, not even me getting better.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I can pay it or afford it.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
true.
even though you think that you have the medical insurance
Correct.
to cover it, but they still ask for payments
Wow.
ahead of time.
So luckily we were able to, and the claim process went faster than expected, and you were able to pay that down payment. So what was next after you paid the down payment? You scheduled the actual treatment.
The surgery happened, and then I was scheduled for the chemo. Yeah, but another thing for the chemo is I still have to put my share for the treatment, since like I said, it hasn't met the deductible. So they were asking for payments first, and I was asking the person that called me, and just to find out if I can do a payment plan. And they said I can't do that. do a payment plan. I have to.
That's ridiculous.
Put money up front.
So people that has no money in the bank account, they just can't do it.
It's tough. It's tough. Yes, that's the reason. Well, that's the reason why they delay their treatments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's I feel, and I'm not sure if it's right, but I feel a lot of people don't get cured because of finances, because the delay. I mean, getting it done right away is the most important, but obviously if you can't afford it.
If you can afford it, I mean, you would have to choose between, feeding your kids or getting the treatment.
Better. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So the urgency is not there anymore.
Yeah.
So, but luckily for my part, I have that living benefits.
Yeah, luckily.
And then, do you have to take medication to the time?
Because what happens is when you do a chemo treatment, they check your blood before the treatment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything should be in place, especially your white blood.
Okay.
So there are times where my white blood count is low, and if it's low, you can't do the chemo.
Oh.
So for it to boost up, they give you an injection.
Okay.
For it.
Oh, so just to boost the levels up, so you can get the chemo.
The chemo, yeah. And unfortunately, that injection, I still have to pay my share.
Is it so you have to pay it out of pocket? Is it because it's not covered by insurance? Or?
No, it's covered, but this is just my share again.
Oh, got
of the deductible.
How much is the share, if you don't mind?
Oh my gosh, that's like it's $800 per injection.
Oh, okay.
And there are times where I have to take 2 or 3 injections before my before the chemo treatment.
Wow, like $2,400
a week
for an injection.
Just for the injection,
and
that's you doing it yourself. So imagine if somebody else does it. Yeah, you have to inject it yourself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
So is it per week?
No, it's every day.
Every day
Before your treatment.
Until you go to your treatment.
How many treatments were you getting
every month
for the chemo?
Yeah.
The entire treatment was 16, I believe.
16 treatments, and you're getting this injection before each treatment.
Just look at that.
But there are times where sometimes my white blood is
It was
high.
good. Yeah,
it was good. So I said yes. No 800 for me,
share.
or 1600 for me. But most of the time it's low.
See, here's what I think. When we think about like cancer, we think about something like that. Some people they don't see the real cost of the whole process.
Yeah.
Yes.
And being able to really talk to you about this, you get to see really how expensive it really is.
It is.
And usually we don't have like savings to cover.
Correct.
Well, we're not all prepared for that.
Yeah, because we never knew it was going to happen to us, right?
Yep.
And we think that the medical insurance will
going to
cover it for everything.
Correct. So because that one sometimes like, I don't need anything because I have health insurance. Or sometimes people doesn't want to save because it's hard to save, or sometimes they don't want to save because they don't think it's going to happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
Especially if you don't have a history from your family,
Exactly. Exactly.
or you're doing you're a healthy
very
living,
healthy, working out, everything.
Yeah, and then also
good.
like I saw you computing. So let's say you're getting like average of 2 shots, right? And then of course there's good days and bad days. So let's say instead of during the 16, out of those 16, maybe 10. So that's 20 times 800.
That's a lot.
16K.
So 16K plus the 2,000 you put down, and of course you still have to pay whatever
18.
the part is.
Yeah, you get the whole surgery,
You're
everything.
probably looking at 40,000.
It's close to the entire bill from all the treatment, from surgery to chemo to radiation. It's a good 6-figure.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is out of pocket.
Well, part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But imagine you don't have
you
a good
have
health
to
insurance.
Yeah, if you don't have health insurance, you gotta pay all that.
Yeah.
Even if you do and your health insurance is not as good as hers,
You're supposed to pay a portion.
HMO, it's like it might pay most of it, but then you have to wait, right? Because you have to get approvals.
Yeah, I think so.
And with
And
PTO, the good thing is that you can go to any specialist.
And sometimes some treatments are specialized treatment that is not even on the list that they will cover.
Yeah.
And
especially in cancer too, most of the time they have specialized treatment that are not covered by.
So like if you have like Kaiser health insurance, it's just only Kaiser.
The Kaiser
like
doctors,
hospitals,
yeah.
doctors.
And not including on the computation, by the way, is the bills. Like the
Hospital.
mortgage. Yeah.
The mortgage,
you're right.
the
That's right.
car,
Your normal bills.
In the normal
all
bills.
that stuff.
You know, your living expenses.
And you weren't
'Cause
working this whole time.
This
you
whole
know?
time, no.
It's just a disability.
And the bad thing on my part was short term is only good 6 months.
6 months. After that, you
After
go to
that, you go
long-term.
to long term disability.
Yeah.
And how much do you
And
get?
for our company, if you go long term, you end up losing your medical insurance.
Whoa.
Oh, really?
Yes. I
Oh,
had
yeah, and
to I
you
had
had
to
to go-
question about, because it's something about how the system works is that, you know, it's you're not an employee anymore, so you lose that part, and I can't afford at that time, so I had to get Cobra. I don't know if everybody's
yes,
Yes.
Cobra,
familiar with
Cobra is
Cobra.
ex-
Cobra is
expensive.
so expensive. I don't understand why. How can it help you? It's so
It's
expensive.
very expensive, but
only option.
Yeah, it's the only option.
yeah, especially if you're doing treatment, you
Exactly. You really have to have the
you have to do,
continuity. Yeah.
So, you want to get shocked how much I had to pay for Cobra?
Please lay it on us.
Yeah.
$3,000
Oh,
a
Per
month. A month.
a month.
It's all piling up. It's all piling up.
And let's just say that's for the next 6 months. So just say for example, right?
So yes, actually the next 3-4 months, because
3-4 months.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
it is.
So imagine you don't have that living benefits. Not only you're worrying about those things, instead of you being focused on your
On the treatment.
and your stress. And then, you know, the next thing is, you know, you have to swallow your pride and ask for help to your family, if you know, if they can help you financially too. And sometimes that's hard to take in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Right.
I'm not even talking about like those costs, but in your living costs. But then I just remember you mentioning, like, of course you're not doing it by yourself. You know, so you have somebody supporting you, and that person has to take days off,
Days off, yeah.
and that will affect income, especially in the home, because that's definitely people don't realize, like, so much things gets affected around just
It's not just yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody around you.
Yeah.
and
So
that-
with all that being said, all that finance problems, issues, that's where you saw that the living benefits was really real.
Yeah, it's really
when-
really very, very helpful.
like, tell me, like, how you felt when you but when you actually saw that income, or the living benefits in your account. And how
Yeah.
does-
Did you even question, is this really real that I have this money on my
Because I
account
know
right
those
now?
are large amounts, but it's just, does it feel like relief? Like, you just feel like, oh my gosh, good.
Yeah, it's well, when I saw the check, I couldn't believe if maybe it's just one of those bogus, those marketing
or something.
letters that you get, right? Yeah, so
Please claim here.
I had to frame that because that's my lifesaver. I mean, as much
like
as
that. I
as
like
much
that.
as we want to not think about the financing or money part of it, we still need it
Yeah.
to live.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely do.
thinking about, since I had this, I had to turn around my change of lifestyle, my food style. I had to go organic at that time. So that also costs
It's money.
Oh,
money.
really? Yes,
I had to
yes.
get rid of all the processed foods that we had
The
at
sweets.
home. Well, the sweets,
Yeah,
and then I have to be organic. So honestly, organics is
Expensive.
a-
Oh, yeah,
you
it's
know,
not
it's-
cheap.
yeah, they're not cheap. So
And then did you ever like once question like, what if I didn't have this? What if I didn't listen to my friend that
all
time?
the time. It's not just myself. It's actually, what happens to the other people that doesn't have this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's really,
It's devastating.
it is. It's like, it's not gonna help you get better because you have to worry about the financing part.
Oh.
Finances part of it, and at the same time, you want to be healthy so you can
Yeah.
get back to work.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about, of course, this podcast as well, is to share not only because we do this also on the business side of things, but at least on the perspective of the client too, because you walk that story. You're the living testimony of what could have happened if you don't have the living benefits. Yeah. It's sad that it did happen, but we're so happy to still see you here and healthy. And by the way, are you cancer free now?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
That's what doctor.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I see you have a shirt, you know.
Yeah.
That's stronger than cancer.
Yes, you are.
Survived chemo.
Yes,
that is a strong message. I could have added living benefits.
That's right.
Maybe I should have the living benefits in the back.
Yeah, that'd be actually pretty
So
good.
how is your story? Can you think make a change? Especially recommending living benefits to your friends or family. Did that experience that you had gave you that courage? Like, I really need to share, especially my family, what I had.
That's why I'm glad that you guys have me here for the podcasting, because at least we can, send the message to everyone about the living benefits. I mean, because not everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm really, really thankful to my friend who didn't give up on me and, told me about it.
Yeah.
And waited and, reminded me because he started telling me about it 2016.
Oh.
Like a
Imagine.
So it took a year.
Almost a year till, the following year.
Yeah.
That's when I decided.
And yes, you got it. At least you got it.
And yes,
And
and
thank God you had it.
I'm glad
never
that
too
there's such a thing as living benefits
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
because everybody knows just the traditional life insurance.
Yeah.
So it's really a lifesaver, not
Definitely is.
not just for myself, but for the family as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you plan yourself as much as you can, but you're only to the point where that's it. I mean, the unexpected is really
yeah.
not there.
Yeah.
So this one gave me a peace of mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one thing I wanted to know. Like when you received that check, it must have felt like a big load just coming off your shoulder and
Yes.
just being thankful.
So every time they ask for money from me, just go ahead and get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry. I want to worry more about getting better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Definitely.
because during chemo, there are times where I have bad days. I'm also lucky that I didn't get all the side effects of the getting chemo treatment. But there are times where I'm really, really weak. So that's when I'm
Yeah, and it's not just health wise, but mentally and emotionally it can drain you too, because like you're going to the treatment, the changes in your lifestyle, the side effects, and then a bill will hit you on top of what you're going through, right? So it can take a toll to you, but like you said, it's fortunate enough you had the living benefits, and we're so fortunate enough to be in this business that we were able to share that to you.
Yeah,
Do you guys have any more questions for her? I don't want to take her so long because
No,
I know she drove so far.
No, but we really thank you.
Yes.
Number one for accepting living benefits and accepting our product, and for really being here and sharing your story.
Yep.
It's something that everyone needs to know about.
Yeah.
You talk about all the different expenses. You talk about all the stress levels that's going through, everything that's playing out. You said it. You exactly said it. People don't get sick because of the illness itself. It's because of that $800 bill's coming in. I gotta pay that, And by having the living benefits as that platform where there's no problem, there's no issue with it. You said it. You don't have to worry about the finances.
Yep.
You can just worry about getting better.
Yes.
We are happy to hear that today you're cancer free.
Yep.
You're here. You're able to share your story. So we thank you for being here.
Yeah, and
Thank
we
you.
appreciate your very positive
Yeah.
and your smile. Like it goes a
we
long way.
we definitely appreciate your
Yes.
time, your knowledge that you're sharing with us, because there's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna go through it, and the good thing is when they hear this, they won't feel alone. They'll feel like if they do have the living benefits, they'll feel like that relief that you're gonna have, and knowing that it's gonna be there, and that's the biggest key. I think that's the reason why we have you here, is just so that you can share what you experience, and knowing that it helped you. And that's a big thing. That's a really
and
big
it's
thing.
real because when people hear about it, they'll say it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's why
You're
I'm glad to do this all the time because we need to let people know about it. I think I strongly believe that God gave us each and every one a purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Extended my life to probably tell people about the living
Exactly.
benefits.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. I think so too.
So yeah, I mean, if people can really think about it and consider the living benefits, it's really life changing, a lifesaver.
One more thing before you go, I just want to know, to people that's listening, that's thinking about not buying it or getting it, do you have a message for them?
Probably just consider it. Just give whoever like the agent a chance and look into it because anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we want as much as you want to prepare yourself, unexpected things happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the living benefits will definitely help you a whole lot.
Yeah.
And also, ladies, don't forget your mammogram yearly.
Yeah,
All
please
right.
don't forget.
Thank you. It's a
Thank
pleasure
you
to
so
have
much.
you.
Pleasure to have you.
My
Thank
pleasure
you.
too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we're back. So we kind of switcheroo. So everything kind of mumble jumble. All right. Someone
good.
left.
Everything's good.
I just teleported over here.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good guest. That was a good podcast.
No, we
having her.
really do think clients
Yeah.
like her. Like, for the listeners, like just like how Fred said that same question. If you weren't ever thinking about buying living benefits, this is really the time to really get it, especially what's happening right now in the world today.
Yeah,
Maybe
I feel like the time that you said no to living benefits or the time you cancel the policy, I feel like that's like a
when it
curse.
hits.
That's where it hits.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I remember that story. We did a meeting last Tuesday.
Yeah.
28-year-old.
20-year-old guy.
But
28-year-old guy.
he was introduced to the living benefits from his own father
Yeah.
a year before he had his heart attack.
And he said no?
And he said no.
He said no. Because he already had a policy
Yeah.
with no living benefits.
He
And
had,
said, you know
yeah,
what?
he had a policy that was a term life. That
No
had
living benefits. Yeah.
And he said he already had it.
He already has it.
And then 2019 was when he got his heart attack.
Yep.
And his father passed away.
Yeah.
That same year.
That same year.
Same year.
Yeah.
So we don't know if it's because of that, but we just don't know. Like just like what Joanne said, it's unexpected things. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Unexpected things happen.
And now like he's
A believer now.
he's a believer, number one. Number two, he wants to spread the word and become an associate.
And then did he mention the dad had I'll assume he had the life insurance too.
Did he have the policy?
He didn't get because he couldn't get approved.
Oh,
he
he
couldn't
wasn't
get
approved.
approved for
The
it.
dad.
'Cause he was your
The dad,
associate.
yeah, he
He's
couldn't
one
get
of your
approved for it
agents.
anymore because of a certain illness. So his goal was really to share it. And at first, obviously, when you share things, you want to share it, number one, to your family.
Yeah.
And we know how how difficult sometimes that can be, especially if they're like,
Yeah.
wait, that's a way too good to be true product,
Everyone says
And
that.
everyone says that, but in reality, just like what Joanne said, it's real. She got the claim.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the son, he didn't get it. And now I remember still talking to him that exact day, and she said, "You know what? I just wish I would have just said yes at that moment. Got in a big policy. We wouldn't have to worry about those medical bills
But
today."
things happen already. But the good thing is now although there's something bad that happened, but it kind of opened his mind now to what to do moving forward, and now he understands how that could have changed his life, if anything, right? So at least now he's gonna do the business and share living benefits as well. So that's good. There's still a good thing that comes out.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely.
So like switching gears, talking about the business. We had the big event, the Super Saturday,
Yeah, that was
hosted
on-
by our CEO,
Yeah.
VIP.
You'll see.
Yeah, it was a really big event. It was really good.
What was the final count? How many people did we have there? Like over 200 plus?
I think it was like 234.
234.
Something like
I know we ran out of food.
Yeah. And I mean, that's not even like a big event. Like, I mean, it's big for a small, Super Saturday.
Yeah.
And that was not really like I mean, it's planned, but it's not like we planned it for a long time. Like,
That's right.
We just like had a meeting, decided like.
And remember, we had COVID guidelines.
We saw COVID guidelines. We
Yeah.
couldn't even get like those bigger rooms because of the limits.
Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, we could definitely fill something bigger than that. But
There's
that was
people
a
that's
big event
standing. There's people
after.
standing.
yeah, I'm just surprised. Like, even with the COVID stuff, people are willing to go out because they want to learn.
Yeah. And
That was a
we're
good event.
honored to have our owners as well
Yeah.
fly in and
Fly in and do the.
Yeah, we had the owners. You had Dennis, Michael on there.
Yep.
all I
It was-
remember is we just kept eating. So-
Yeah.
Yeah, we had great food. First night before the seminar, we had a great food at Gacho's Grill.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, tell us
then
about that.
this-
Gotcha. You brought. Who did you bring? That we brought like who? Like the main leaders on
Yeah,
there?
there was 30 of us, right?
30
yeah,
leaders?
Yeah.
About 30 leaders in there. It was a really good. We had our own room and
With the owners.
with the owners, and everyone enjoyed. Everyone had steak.
Yeah.
And then we ate steak again this next
And
day.
then the next day, we go to Pelican Hill and have dinner there, and that's a wonderful one too.
Yes.
And that one was much more intimate. It's because there's qualifiers that only qualified for
Oh.
that event. And again, with the owners as well.
See, that's what I love about this company.
Yeah. You get
There's-
to enjoy,
You get to
you know?
enjoy things. You
Yeah.
work really hard.
Yep.
You get to enjoy a lot of these perks. So
Exactly.
we thank VIP for.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
then the cool thing too is like it gives you that excitement again. Although we have exciting Zoom meetings here and there as well, but it's different seeing people live. And now seeing the people that you see in webcam now sharing the actual story in the live stage.
Yeah.
It's really very inspiring. I know we had a lot of 2-minute speakers. Yeah, we do like product.
I love those two.
Yeah, we do
speakers.
product presentation, and kind of like an update on the company, but we try to make sure it's a little bit shorter because we want to give time for more of those like 2 minutes,
Yeah,
5
those two-
minutes.
I love those
Those
2
are
minutes.
motivational.
We got a lot of new people up there.
Yeah.
See that you can see how the company's growing because it's no longer
The
same people like from 3-4
Yeah.
years ago. You see
No.
new leaders coming up.
It's definitely different. I mean, it's definitely growing. I see the industry changing. It's shifting.
Yeah.
It's giving us the opportunity to build our organization. I feel that within the next 5 years, this industry is going to be bigger than what it is now. I mean, definitely. Not just bigger, but I think huge because everyone wants to get into this industry.
Yeah, either the business, the industry itself, or just like as a client
As a
getting that
client.
living benefits, because now they have more reason to, they're much more open. I think, just because of what happened last year, it opened their mind. That gives them a reason now to at least consider hearing what living benefits is.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know,
Or
yeah.
even the opportunity itself as well. They
Oh,
they
true,
start
yeah.
to realize that maybe my job isn't guaranteed.
Yep.
Speaking of that, yeah, I read an article about it, and it's kind of a big thing last year, and they were calling it the Great Resignation.
Oh.
So because last year, it's kind of like a reset for everyone. So everybody got either laid off or was working from home. So now it gave people time to rethink if that job is really the
Really
job
for
they're
them.
looking for.
They got forced.
Yeah,
To change.
or do I even consider going back to work now that I understand how working from home is? Or maybe I need to change careers or study more. And some of them did online school too to get, to pursue another career they have.
career.
So that's something, on the top of like what's going on in the industry, our economy, and people now, trying to find new jobs. And that's why our business last year actually grew, just because people are, like Petro said, when people get fired, we hire,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We give that opportunity.
Yeah.
See,
And
that was the thing though. You said we give the opportunity. The issue was, for us, especially for us, we had to transition from like, our business was really meeting people in person, face to face
Yeah,
meetings. We've already integrated, online, whether it be through Skype or Zoom or all these FaceTime. We've done that before the pandemic. The pandemic just really kind of just shifted that whole thing about meeting people in person to online. But I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. Like, what do you guys think about like in-person live meetings versus Zoom meetings? It's been now how many years? Like about a year and a half now. We started
Yeah.
March of 2020. It's now August 2021. So you're give or take a year and a half.
I think a year and a
What's
half.
what's
right.
like?
it's
How do you guys like feel about that? Like when we used to have like all the hype, all like
Yeah.
the energy.
Pack the
It's
room.
always when the room is packed, energy.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
So Zoom meeting is good in general. I mean, not just Zoom, like webinars and stuff, because we can talk to people not even here,
And out of state.
But you mentioned it, accurately, because we've been doing this ever since even before pandemic. That's why I was saying like our business is like pandemic proof, because we've been doing this. If there's another wave that's coming in again, if we're gonna go shut down again this year, we're ready, because we've been doing Zoom every time. But I think live meeting is a different energy as Zoom, like seeing someone from screen, because it's much more intimate as opposed to Zoom. But during the pandemic, when we started the Zoom, we're like trying to do a regular Zoom meeting instead of the live opportunity meeting. People got excited because they're happy to see someone again. Because although in the comfort of your house, but you have that. But I think you guys can relate too, because you guys have kids and family. Is that you appreciate more? It's like at least I can do what I do, and I can still share what I have through online without being away with my kids, or maybe risking getting COVID and taking it home.
You definitely have more time at home. When it first started, it was exciting to see people in Zoom. I was like, there's a world out there. Like no one's
there's people.
No one's like, you think everyone's gone because you don't go outside, and it's just. But I thought it was exciting. Maybe for the first 2 months.
Yeah, it was fun.
The first 2 to 3 months of lockdown.
I remember we even tried to play games, even in some
I think we even had like a Christmas party on there.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Which was awkward, but
it was. I mean,
you can't do anything.
You can't do much. Yeah.
People are just gonna adapt and still party. Even at the Zoom party.
And they definitely did. But the difference. I mean, I definitely loved the live meetings, the in person. It's so different, feeling the energy, knowing the emotions of the person. You can't see that through Zoom. You can't feel their reactions.
And that is why when we set up the big event, Super Saturday, we call it big event. I know when we were in Pelican Hills, we were eating. Ace was sharing, like he wasn't able to sleep the night because he was so excited of we're gonna be live with people.
Yeah.
It's not just because we're gonna have a meeting, but just to see them again.
Yeah. And it was really nice seeing everybody. I got to see some of our associates it's 2 years maybe we haven't seen.
We had people fly in from different states too, right?
From
New York. We had some I heard from
Texas.
Chicago.
Yeah, Texas.
Yeah, Chicago. You said
Yeah. And it's for me it's nice to see like how like our not just the industry but everything's shifting, to technology and, with all the technology that we have that makes our life much more easier, even, either younger generation, older generation, they know how to click and join a Zoom meeting.
They learn.
They learn to adapt on what's going on, and it applies for our business too, because, when this thing hit, everything has to adapt.
Yep.
And I feel like the fastest one that actually adapt to what's going on, it was our industry. Because there's already things in place.
Yep.
If somebody wants to file a claim, things like that, everything shifted fast.
Yeah.
From how we process medical assessments and exam, how we deliver policies. Our industry shifted so fast, so we can make sure that we can't delay service to our people or to our clients.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the concept of what happened in the beginning with Zoom. A year and a half now. It's August 2021 now.
Yeah.
When everything was starting to slow down, we switched over to like live meetings.
It's August. It's August 2022 soon.
We're about to hit 2 years on this thing, man. And I'm just wondering like when is this going to be ending? But we have started live meetings again at the office.
We first started with just small meetings.
Yeah, small meetings.
Yeah.
Small meetings.
Now it's starting to get.
We still take precautions, right? We still do this live, and I will tell you, I've noticed this too. We've had agents that come into the live meetings, and they are just building more. They're producing more. Yep. It's just a different energy. Yes. Like I felt that. Like I met with some agents yesterday who came over to the mentorship group that I do, and they're on top of the leaderboards.
Yeah.
And they said, it's just I could not learn online.
Yeah.
I just couldn't take it seriously because at a certain point, the first 3 months of Zoom, we were all like, we were like, ready to go lockdown. Yeah. And then after a while, you're just like, man, dude, the screen again.
Yeah, it's having your environment really set up or conducive for learning. It's different because the Zoom, you look at your bed.
There's different distractions.
Yeah,
right?
There's a lot of distraction going on, so you kind of shifted your focus as well. But yeah, it's nice to have live meetings because it's much more interactive. I feel like on Zoom sometimes people even hesitate to ask questions.
Yeah.
On live they ask all the questions they need.
Some don't even want to put the webcam on because they're probably some pajamas or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Either that or their hair is not fixed.
But yeah, the good thing that we started that event, and then we started gradually increasing the times of our regular meetings. Now when the people that are attending are the ones that are requesting for us, and that is why we're gonna go to New York. In the end of this month.
In 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Exciting.
And then we just got back from San Diego as well.
Yeah, and what's next week? There's something next week.
Yeah, we just did San Diego last week.
I gotta be San Diego next week.
Yeah, I got San Diego. We've been pumping up on retirement seminars.
Yeah.
That's always been packed with us.
I seen that.
Here's the thing, especially for the listeners, there's $1.7 trillion of lost IRAs. But the pandemic just brought that up. People lost their jobs. They didn't know that.
Yep.
And they've already forgot about that. Maybe that IRA that they left behind.
It's like non-performing in one of those.
Yeah.
Those accounts that they don't know, it's just
sitting there. Yeah, it's just sitting there. So the retirement seminars that we had, it brought that to the light. Saying that, oh, you know what, I do have that account. So
especially
we've been
the
doing
ones that are in your old job.
Oh yeah, 2, 3, 4 jobs ago.
Yeah.
Oh, and that you started, you forgot about that already.
Some people do that, and then there's like 50,000 there they don't remember.
It's like.
Yeah.
So we've been having that.
That's a good one. I seen. Your seminar has been full.
Yeah, how was the San Diego? You guys said San Diego last week, right?
Yeah, so we had San Diego. That one is a mixed crowd, but it's more of the business that they're interested, because they want to really build big in San Diego. And fortunately enough, we have an office there that we can actually use. Yep. And the cool thing about San Diego is pretty much I feel like everything is like open in San Diego.
Yeah, it's pretty open.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's like Orange County.
Yeah. It's like everybody goes out.
Newport Beach never had COVID.
Well, now with dude, you never.
Everyone's just wearing flip flops and no shirt.
It's really relaxed there, right? With all the stuff,
you have immunity.
If you go to the ocean, you're gonna be immune.
So talking about events and big events, what's the one that's coming up?
A big one. This one is really big. This is not 200, 300 people. We're talking about thousands. A few thousand people are going to be attending. We actually have a big event going in Caesar's Palace. So we got Caesar's Palace. I believe that's Caesar's Palace.
Yeah,
and we're gonna have the biggest room that they have to offer. Yeah, for us to have to do our seminar.
Yeah, and we used to do that in Red Rock. We love Red Rock.
We did that for like 4 years, right?
Yeah, it's much more intimate. But just because I believe we have more people and they cannot accommodate us anymore. And we have Caesar Palace. I kind of pushed back multiple times just because of regulations of COVID and stuff.
Unfortunately, that's sold out now, though, right? The event sold out.
Yeah, so from what I've heard is that before they even announced the actual final date that we're going to open, that it's already sold out.
Sold out, and then they had the opportunity to have 100 seats open. So
they added an extra room, right?
Yeah, and then that was like overflow room. That's what they call it.
Yeah,
that sold out less than a couple hours, maybe an hour.
Man.
But the good news is, from what we heard last Tuesday, is they're gonna add another limited slots for that one. That's gonna open up again, and they said it can get sold out faster too, right? So, what are you guys are looking towards on those type of convention?
For me, I'm excited to do a presentation. That's one of my things. I love doing presentations for large amount of crowds, especially thousands of people. It just gives
you that excitement.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's kind of like my high, I guess you can say. But yeah, it's an honor too, because you get to go up there and thousands of people get to see you, and doing that for I don't know how many years now, but I just remember like you come down from there and they're like, you never met this person. Yeah. And they all just talk to you and it's just like, hi, you did good. Da, da, da. Like, so that's one of the things that I was definitely excited for.
Yeah.
How about you, Ace?
For those who knew my story, I wouldn't have been doing this business without the big events. In fact, it was at the Mirage. That was the first one that I went to with Freedom Equity Group.
That was a while.
That is a while.
Mirage. And I'm like, man, see, there was a person there that talked, and I was sitting on the front row.
Was it a 2-minute speaker?
2-minute speaker. Just talking about, and there was just stuff that I'm like, man, like, if he can do it, I can do it too. Yeah. That's how the whole thing was. And I'm just like, if an average person can do this, and I'm average too, like I can go ahead and create a change for my life. So what I tell people, always go to big events.
You'll never know.
Even if you've been in FEG or whatever company you are, and for like, even as an entrepreneur, if there's a big event in that industry, do it. Because you never know what's going to change your life. There's probably like a big motivator or a big push that's going to say, you know what, this person did it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Yep. And you get that chance to talk to people, not just like see them on stage. That stage is magic. It's just like you said, you speak in front of thousands of people. When you're up on that stage,
you forget about
it.
You don't see them anymore. You just focus on what you're going to say.
Yeah. What you're going to say. You forget about like everything. Right. Like, man, I actually made it here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
it's an honor to be on that
stage.
That's
an honor. It's an honor.
Yeah, and I agree with that one too. In my experience, the people that we really like, I believe you have to attend the convention because you're going to do big things. Yeah. Those are the people that are now being recognized the next year.
Oh, yeah.
They become the 100,000 earner, 200,000 earner. And that's how also like my experience that I like about the convention too. Like you said, when we started, we were just in the back sitting, listening to the 2-minute speaker. Next year, you're the one who's actually, I'm going to come to the stage now. I can touch it. You're going to be talking there. But the most exciting part for me is that each year that you go, there's a different person going with you.
Oh, yes.
It's not just like always like you or the people that are already made it, but there's always someone new that's walking on that stage.
Yeah.
And now it's your chance to pass that success to them that, you're the one who's congratulating them now.
Yeah.
Before you were the one getting congratulated. Yeah. But now they're the one who's receiving those awards. And the 2-minute speakers too, because those are real story. It's not like, because you're in the stage because you already made it. No.
Yeah. That's right.
They go through the same process.
Yeah. I love it, man.
I do too.
There's people that you probably didn't even know, we didn't know you, but they probably heard you from one of the Zoom meetings or one of the webinars or a training. And they're like, man, that's Fred. Nice to meet you, Fred.
Did you have that experience? Like somebody approached you like, hey, you did good on that training. What training?
It's fun, and not just that, you get to talk to the other leaders. Like, what are they doing? And it's not about like, yes, we do have friendly competition, in the whole company, we have friendly competition. But the thing is, we're not afraid to say, hey, this is what you need to do. This is what's happening. This is what's working. This is what's not working.
Yep.
And you get to get ideas. You get to share.
And you can relate as well, what struggles they did, what success they had, which is good.
I love that. I love the camaraderie that the company has.
Top of that.
Yeah, also.
Of course, the eating. And of course, the partying.
So we have, before the convention, by the way, there's only a few that gets selected. There's about 40 income earners. The top 40 income earners of the company will be invited to a special party. I mean, actually, you can say a cocktail party. Mm-hmm. And they have the very top floor. I believe this is the very top floor of Caesar's Palace, the penthouse suite that has, I don't know how many bedrooms in there. It's like one of the biggest ones. It has a big pool inside. So it's only for the 40 top 40. Earning. Yeah. And I've been to these cocktail parties and they've been really, really good. It's a great experience. It definitely once in a lifetime experience type of thing.
Yeah. Do you remember your first time being on some of those cocktail party? How was it?
Yeah, I remember going there and then just not really knowing too much people. But I just remember looking at, this is like back then, I remember looking at some of the leaders, and I don't want to say the names, but like looking at them and saying, I'm going to beat you one day. Like, just be there and be one of the top leaders.
And see, that's a big push too. You know,
it is.
For a lot of people that don't know, you need to motivate yourself. You've got to look at someone who's made it, who's really made it, and they're the top of that industry, or top of that company. And you tell yourself, you know what, you're there, I'm here. I'm gonna get to your level, or I'm gonna be better than you, right? You know, that's your big motivator.
Because it's a different experience. Like, you can buy a suite, you can afford a suite and stay there, but seeing those people, like the leaders, like pushes you, like, oh, every year that they have this, I'll be in this party. You know, I'll be here in this suite. Yeah, I'll make sure I'll make it every year. Yep. You know, and I'm excited because all of us are gonna be there.
Yeah, I mean, like one of the things that I get from there is like just how much people get excited on just, you know, listening, not the top leaders, just listening to the agents that made it that year. Just like a story with one of the ladies that used to be a janitor, I believe. Like,
works in the office.
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, okay.
Is that DMC?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like now she's like over 500,000. Am I right?
Yeah.
More than that. And she's very consistent.
And this lady just chose her life. She said, am I going to do this, you know, clean the offices, or I'm going to make over more
$100,000.
Yeah. So, I mean, I remember when she talked, she said that she's going to do that. And a lot of people will doubt it. And a lot of people look at it and be like, oh, this, you know, like this person probably won't be doing it. And then in the next year,
boom, she hit it.
Yeah, she made it.
One of the biggest builder too.
Yeah, one of the biggest builders, consistent building too.
And the other thing too on those type of event, it's handpicked. You know, we have agents in different state. We're in the big company, and it's just handful of people that can attain that. But the very cool thing about it is not only, you know, you made it, but you see the leaders and the owners being in that party and seeing them that, oh yes, they're the owners, but they mingle, they talk to you, they share their own story, their personal life. So it's much more intimate rather than it's like a corporate party or cocktail, you know?
Yeah.
It's more of like, it's like somebody invited you in a party in their house, you know, that kind of feeling.
I mean, I you know, it's just one of those things. I'm excited. Ace and James is going to be attending the cocktail party. I think, is this your first one or second one?
I think this is my second one. Yeah.
The Vegas one is the second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second.
Yeah. Second one.
Because I know we had other cocktails in San Diego's. And
yeah.
Okay. So because every convention they have the night before.
Yeah.
But usually they only had it for board of directors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
it's good for them to open it up.
Now you guys get to go how we did it. You know, we used to go to the top steakhouses or the top restaurants the night before, but I think they want to share it to the top 40 entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I miss with live meetings too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The parties instead of eating.
You get to enjoy the food. I mean, the food is not. I mean, that's one thing that you have an experience on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It's not like
and it's free.
Everyday thing.
It's the best
thing. You work for it. You work hard, man.
Yeah.
You work hard. You make your money. You know, whatever you make.
Work hard, play hard.
Yeah, and then you get all these perks. You know, we have something called like the 10 ways to get paid. You know, and we joke about it on our meetings. It's not actually 10 ways. It's like 15 different ways because you get all these different perks on top of the different ways that you get paid. You know, and this is one of the things that you get to enjoy in FEG, in my opinion. You know, I love the spirit of competition. And we get to do that in Vegas.
Yes.
Sounds good.
And we're so excited. And again, what's the date on that one?
That's October 8 and 9. But we'll see you guys there before that, right?
Yes, of course. We're going to be there early.
And please subscribe to our...
Like and subscribe and share.
Yes, please.
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.